his career. So stepping up here, 5.95, slow beginner in 2, vacant in 3, scratching in 4. You'd imagine she'd be able to roll to the top, dictate from the front with the run she's put on the board. That was the true indicator there that 5.95 shouldn't be a disadvantage. I think she's the best of the evening.
And I know we don't always look at the breeding when we look at whether a dog's going to be able to run distance, but you look at the breeding here. Houdini Boy, who was an absolute freak over longer trips, and My Reflection, who only had a short career but was a 600-metre city winner in her own right as well. So you'd think, judging off that she'll run it out really nicely. And just having a look at her there on the camera, she's a beautiful looking type.
Magnificent.
And reminds me a little bit of Macauley's Lad, actually,
yes.
with the little eyepiece there.
Yes, he had sort of the cow print down the back of his legs, didn't he? He was a lovely looking boy and a small unit too, but could run like the wind. What about the dangers here without a trace, Nath? I think Poor Ultra, from your point of view, is probably the one.
Yeah, Poor Ultra is clearly the one. Had a run a couple of weeks ago over the 5.95 at Sandown, when was able to be runner-up on that occasion, showed early speed, put itself on pace, but I was still a little bit sceptical about how strong it was at the back end. So I thought, on my numbers and figures, that if Without a Trace was able to lead, I don't think Poor Ultra had the run home time to pick it up, even though we haven't seen Without a Trace over the 5.95 yet. But I just think it holds the key advantage with box 1, early speed, a lot of vacant boxes on its outside. I think it can get to the position where it's out in front, rolling along, dictating. And we've seen a lot of leaders being able to hold on and win and run time tonight, and I think the race shape sets up perfectly for Without a Trace here in race number 9.
Now, you tipped the first 6 winners on tonight's card, took on some favourites and got the chocolate, so you're taking on this girl from the red.
No, I've made her the best of the night, actually. I really think she'll be able to utilise box 1, hit the lids, hold ascendancy early and then run along and run some serious time, because she's posted fast times at Geelong, Sandown over the 500 and the Meadows over 500. 600 looks well and truly in her reach. I think she's a greyhound on the up. I know the kennel's got a big opinion of her, and I thought she was the best bet of the night. Number 1, Without a Trace. For second, I put in number 8, Poor Ultra. He's been a good, consistent runner for the Grenfell Kennels. He was runner-up at the track and distance behind Warm Hugs, who won the last race a couple of weeks ago in a decent enough 34 and 47. For third, I've put in number 5, Duplicitous for Jeff Britton. Just an honest, consistent 5.95, 600 metre type of greyhound. Doesn't win without turn, only won 4 and 27, but has a pretty good racing pattern. And then for fourth, number 2, Who Dat Duchess. But I'm pretty keen Without a Trace is the best bet on tonight's program.
And Smithy, you might, am I right in saying that not long ago, Peter Prosciutto, the trainer here at number 1, Without a Trace, compared her ability to that of Idolize, which there might be some punters out there where that name rings a bell.
Yeah, Idolize was an absolute superstar who just pinged the lids early, and we saw Without a Trace 3 starts ago go 5:04, 29:46 over the 500. If she brings that sort of early speed and has the ability of a girl like Idolize, she's going to be really hard to beat from the inside draw.
Goes well. Let's see how well tonight. Race 9, Sandown Cup night. Here's Dan.
Behind Poor Quimby last start, $23 for Who Dat Duchess. Set to go, race number 9. And away, and the favourite jumped well on the inside and had little trouble finding the lead Without a Trace. Who Dat Duchess second, and Poor Ultra now gets up to second past Who Dat Duchess. Best for Last fourth, and Duplicitous to the rear. They finding bother there was Who Dat Duchess and Best for Last. So it's Without a Trace the leader. 2 lengths in front of Poor Ultra, and they're well clear on Duplicitous, who's third. Best for Last trying to get past it, and a gap to Who Dat Duchess, but Without a Trace has extended and got right away on Poor Ultra. Without a Trace is going to win by 9 lengths. Poor Ultra second, Duplicitous third, Best for Last fourth. Last of the 5 was Who Dat Duchess, and there is a hot gallop as well. 33 and 82.
Absolutely. We saw an amazing performance earlier in the night from Flying Envy over the 595 metres. That wasn't too shy from that Nathan Moody. That was an outstanding performance. There's a lot more to come from this girl, it's safe to say.
Yeah, well, we touched on the replay pre-race over the 5.25 at the Meadows, where it was able to make some mistakes and still come over the top of her rivals and run 30.08 on that occasion. That was the indicator that the 5.95 wouldn't be a disadvantage, but to know that she's going to run home in 10.70 first look over the trip, she's wanting further already. Now, she's a lightly raced greyhound, start number 9, win number number 4, 4 other minors next to her name. She's got early speed. We've seen her run 5:04 here over the 5:15 at Sandown. She's got plenty of upside. The opinion from Peter Prosciutto in the camp is she's as good as they've had, and there's no doubt with that run here, first look over the 5:95, running 33.81, there's plenty of upside in this girl.
Really keen for this interview, and Corey Smith is with the man they call the Big Bad Wolf, Peter Prosciutto.
He is the big bad wolf, and Pete, that was some performance, 33.81.
Yeah, we tested her out tonight just to see whether, didn't know whether she'd run it. She's still sort of young in experience. So we just thought we'd just see if she could handle a 600 and see, hopefully she progresses further as we go along.
Well, we were talking about her breeding pre-race, Houdini Boy, and the mother won a 600 metre race in town as well. It's not always about the breeding, but it certainly on paper looked like she'd get the trip, and 10.70 in the run home suggests she's gone pretty nicely to her first crack at it.
Yeah, no, look, it was a surprise, but not at the same time. But she's shown in the past that she's sort of looking for this distance, so it's great to put her over it, and she's done it. So that's fantastic for the owners and all of us.
We saw some nice shots of her pre-race. She's a beautiful looking dog as well, and she looks like she's got a big future ahead of her, not only on the racetrack but in the breeding barn, and the Paulios have entrusted you with her, and looks like you're going to have plenty of fun.
Let's hope so. But it's still early days. But yeah, we're wrapped with what she's doing so far, and I have got an opinion of her. So we'll just cross our fingers, everything goes right from now on.
What do we do next?
Look, to be honest, tonight was a bit of a test to see whether she could go for the Pink Diamond. So that's the next step if she's eligible for that, sort of the 680 at the Pink Diamond. So anyway, something we've got to think about anyway. Other than that, nothing was planned.
All right, beautiful. Well, you go and enjoy it. That was some hell of a performance. Well done, Pete. That was a performance that we were somewhat expecting. We thought she had plenty of ability to be able to put that sort of time on the board in this early stage of her career, boys. That's a greyhound that's going places.
Yeah, Sublime Smithy, absolutely she is, and it's ambitious, isn't it, Nathan? Just her 9th career start tonight to step her up to the 595, where she's absolutely flown. And now, as we just heard from Pete, some plans to go even further, the 680 with the Pink Diamond distance event.
Yeah, and I think there is a rookie one where you're 0 to 4 wins. So she's got 4 wins now on the board, so she's going to go in to that based on that run tonight here, most probably well and truly in that race, and one of the greyhounds that's going to be hardest to beat. We've identified the early speed that she's shown throughout her racing career. We were confident she'd be able to run a strong 595 first look at the distance, but 10.70 home is the indicator that she's ready to go up to 680, and who knows, 12 months time she could be a front running star that we're seeing in the Sandown Cup. Like she was really impressive tonight. I've seen her over the sprint. I've seen her learn her craft, albeit only over 8 or 9 starts, and she's getting better and better with racing. We know the opinion out of the camp, but she's well and truly raised the bar tonight. 10.70 run home, 33.81 your first 5.95 here at Sandown. She'll run 6.80 at Geelong in the Pink Diamond, and if I was having a pre-post market, she'll be the one leading the way. She was ultra impressive tonight. She can sprint and she got back end. She's one of the up-and-comers for the future over that middle to staying ranks.
Serious weapon. Is she as good looking, Smithy, in the flesh as what we can see here from a distance?
Absolutely, mate. She's a ripping type, and I'm looking forward to this Pink Diamond series now. We were talking to Kenny Bailey, but was it Select Chiron earlier on, and it's good for these sort of dogs to be able to have something at this time of year to target up at. You probably don't get Without a Trace stepping up to the 680 so early without a race like that, but I can't see why she wouldn't be able to run it, and if she can do it from the front. I mean, that 504 we spoke about earlier on where she did that over the 500, you take that sort of speed to the 680 and good luck to those catching her. Even if she's not super strong at the end of it at this stage of her career, she's going to be hard to run down because she's going to put a fair gap on them.
Well, she's going to get rolling, isn't she? And 10.70 home, she wasn't stopping.
No, she wasn't.
She was pulling away. Yeah. She was pulling away, and even into the pen. I'm big on watching greyhounds, the next 20, 30, 40 metres going through the corner into the pen. It's most probably a horse racing term where they say they run through the line. I think you get the same feel with a greyhound. You can't really take it to the back of the pen because by then the lure's zipped away and they're pulling up. But that 15, 20